a quick little dry aged beef 101. We're gonna go down to our cave, pull a loin, something probably in the 100-day range. We're gonna cut her open, and we're gonna do a quick little talk on what makes dry aged beef, signature steer brand, of course, and then we're gonna do a quick little one-on-one on how to cook it at home. All right, okay, let's go. Dry aging has three main components to it. You're gonna get more tenderness, you're gonna get more flavor, and you're gonna get a better crust on the steak. We call that the Maillard in the chef world. Maillard essentially is caramelization of amino acids, so we're gonna get a really nice sear, nice caramelization on the crust. Dry aging gives us the ability to get a really nice crust on the beef due to the fact that dry aging does one primary thing to the beef. It reduces the moisture in the beef. You're gonna lose about a kilo of water a month, roughly. So by taking water out of the beef, when the beef hits that pan or that grill, it's gonna get a really nice sear. You're not gonna bubble or steam the beef. The mold, as you can see, these are all geo molds. Essentially, these are these white molds, or geotrichum, that you see. These are good molds. These molds are gonna give us the ability to tenderize the beef. They break it down very much like the cheese aging process. So dry aged beef at this stage is probably closer to cheese than it is beef, and we all love cheese. Second thing that this is going to do is it's going to really enhance the flavor of the beef. You're going to get a lot of concentration. Think of dry aging beef just like reducing a sauce. If you cook that sauce down, really concentrated and much more flavorful. So dry aged beef is kind of in style, it's kind of hip. Truthfully, I'm not always in the mood for dry aged beef. I kind of have to be in a dry aged beef zone to really enjoy it. Anyways, let's cut this bad boy open, and we'll cook off a cowboy, and we'll have at it. So what you can see in here, just as I pull back some of the saw residue, is you see this really beautiful dark burgundy color. It's almost purple. That comes from the dehydration of the beef. We get all of that color from taking out a lot of the excess blood and a lot of the moisture of the beef. In Italy, they have a type of dry aging process with charcuterie, which is a product called bresaola. Bresaola essentially is dry cured beef. Being 100 days old, you could eat this just as it is. This would be edible, cured. You essentially dry cured, much like salumi or salami, not much different. So I'm going to finish cutting a steak out of this bad boy, and we're going to cook one up. So we're going to do this as a cowboy cut. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out the bone here. It has a nice curb appeal to it. It looks nice on the plate this way. So you can see you're kind of getting into some Neanderthal territory there. Now I'm just going to trim off all of the exterior. So much like a rind on the cheese, the beef has the same thing. It's almost like a protective skin that it develops over time. And you don't want to eat that. It might not kill you, but well, it definitely won't kill you, but it just wouldn't taste that fantastic. And then we're just going to take off this little cap on the back here as well. And we get into something that looks really fantastic. And will taste equally as good. All right, so there's your steak. Now that is going to look fantastic on a plate. So, now you have your nice bone. We call that a tomahawk or a cowboy. There's your ribeye. That's the eye of the entire loin. The dry aging that we did in this case is we took the cap off preemptively, just because it actually enhances the aging process a little bit, allows us to progress through and get to this. Now, to smell this, obviously you're not going to smell this at home. You're smelling this, so the flavor is also more concentrated, but what also is more concentrated is the aroma. They say that 70% of everything that we eat comes from the sense of olfactory, so the sense of smell. This beef right here has a super nutty smell to it. A little bit gamey, which is kind of in the direction that we're going in. We want that flavor to come through, but gamey and nutty, totally fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a pan, and we're going to just going to season this with some kosher salt. That's it. A little bit of pepper. You don't even need the pepper. You can just skip the pepper if you want. We'll put some pepper on it today. Salt is salt's key. Don't be shy with the salt. We're going to take it over to our pan. As you can see, we've got a smoking hot cast iron pan right here. We're going to drop it in. We're going to let that work. It is true what they tell you. You don't want to move it around in the pan too much. You want to let the pan do all the work, make all the magic. There's no point in flipping and flopping it around too much. A couple turns per side is good. With a steak like this, you want to cook it on all ends. You'll have the ability to actually put the bone down on the pan. That's fantastic. What that'll give you is a release of all the marrow and the juice in the bone. We definitely say with prime grade beef, you probably want to overcook versus undercook. If you're going to screw it up, overcooking is probably a little bit better than undercooking. There's so much marbling, there's so much fat in this steak that you want to be able to release that fat. The worst thing with a prime grade piece of beef is to actually undercook it due to the fact that you're not going to release all that beautiful marbling in the steak. So we're going to go ahead and flip this over now. You can see that wonderful crust that we're already starting to develop in a very short period of time. If we were using a wet aged piece of beef, you would not get that same crust on the beef so quickly. And that comes from the dry aging. The lack of moisture in the steak gives us the ability to get that Maillard, as we call it again, which is the caramelization of amino acids and that beautiful brown golden crust. We're going to pan sear the end, we're going to do the bottom, the side, then we're going to throw it in the oven and let it continue to work for about a good 15 minutes or so. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take out our 100-year-old signature steer cowboy. Alright, there we go. Looking fantastic. Dry aged beef should be rested, just like any other type of beef. So we're going to go ahead and let this rest now for about a good 7 or 10 minutes. Really important to rest your beef after you cook it, due to the fact that you want to allow all the beautiful juice that you worked so hard in releasing, that you paid good hard-earned money for, to still be available on each bite. Not resting your beef, what will happen is you'll cut into it and all of your juice, all that marbling, all that beautiful fat that comes only from signature steer prime grade beef will release and melt all over your plate. You'll be kind of sopping it up. You'll still get it, but you really want it on the bite, you really want it on the palate. Key thing, especially when cutting into strip loins, is you want to go against the grain. Here we have a ribeye. They're a little more forgiving. There is a grain. Basically, you want to start away from the bone and work back towards the bone. I like to serve this steak family style. I believe that pre-cutting it before you plate it is a surefire way for everyone to really enjoy it. Setting this down for one person to eat, obviously if you've got a big appetite, I'm sure you can get through it. But again, I like to cut it. So we're just going to go ahead. Cut a little bit on the bias. Now this is nice and rare. That's kind of the way we like it. When I do my dry aged beef, we want to have it nice and rare. You can smell all that nuttiness. So there you go. Leave the bone intact. Finish it. Again, a little bit of kosher salt. You can slather some jus on it, or if you like any kind of sauce, but I think like that, that's just exactly what it should be. Okay, that's it. So
say a couple last words.
There's your signature steer, dry aged, 100-day dry aged ribeye, ready to be enjoyed. I think you should get out to your local butcher and treat yourself to some gnarly dry aged beef. Thanks. I'm Cole from Uptown Cut, Signature Steer. Thanks for watching.